I feel like the world nowadays doesn't have as much sympathy as it used to, and I actually think it's a really big problem. Hello everyone, my name is Tillanthea and welcome to the TiwiDiaries YouTube channel. So this is a bit different to the topics that I've talked about in the past, but I want to bring this up because I feel like as time has gone on, a lot of us has lost our human touch, almost, I would say. We've lost our sense of sympathy towards people, and it really scares me. We're becoming more and more robotic. We're not feeling emotions. We're not looking at other people's problems and thinking, oh, like, I feel sorry for this person. Instead, we're going around hating people so quickly, so easily without questioning it. We're ignoring a lot of problems as well. Like, as a person who feels a lot of emotions, and I feel for a lot of other people when they're going through problems, I think that's what makes us humans. And unfortunately, we're really going into this scary path where we're not considering other people. It's all about me, 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 me. I am a believer that you should fill your own cup first before helping other people. I 100% believe that. The problem is when people only think about themselves. Even when their cup is full, they still continue to make it about me, 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 me. I'm also a believer that when you give, you will get something in return. And you shouldn't be giving just to get something in return, but I mean the universe. I really, really believe that when you give, you will get good in return. This is also coming from a Buddhist. In Buddhism, we learn that people who give will get good karma back, so on and so forth. If you do something bad, you'll get bad karma back. That's what we believe in. Besides the point, I think that we need to learn to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Because at the end of the day, this world actually doesn't revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around me. It doesn't revolve around anyone. We're all humans and we all go through hardships and bad experiences, and sometimes we really do need to be sympathetic towards people. I feel like I went through a period where it was a very like me, 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 me thing, but sometimes you forget like how good giving feels to people, okay? I am not saying to be a people pleaser, but I am saying be considerate of others, and I think we need more people being considerate of others, guys. Okay, so how do we be more considerate of others? Okay, it will start with trying to put yourself in their shoes. Okay, if someone's going through something, you want to put yourself in their shoes and think about how would I feel if I was in this situation. Okay, that's one thing you can do. The second thing, which is the one that I recommend more so, is if someone's going through something, you need to ask them. You need to ask them if they need anything and what they need. Because sometimes, yes, we can put ourselves in someone's shoes, but then we're also viewing it from our experience. We don't know what they've experienced, so they might react to things very differently to us. So if we really want to be considerate, when someone's going through something and you want to help, you go and ask them what they need. Check up on them, okay? Another thing I want to say is people will make mistakes. People will do things wrong sometimes, and it's like you should be able to forgive them depending on the situation. But if someone does something, like, it doesn't have to be an end-all sort of situation. There are obviously limits, okay? But I'm saying, like, sometimes people make mistakes and that is okay. You're gonna make mistakes, I'm gonna make mistakes. We're all going to go through things like that sometimes, and that is totally okay. And when someone else does a mistake, you need to be sympathetic towards it if it's reasonable, because if you made that same mistake, wouldn't you want grace as well? You know? So I think that's really important to note as well. Like, one thing about the internet that I really find frustrating is when someone does something wrong that's like, you know, a small thing maybe, and people make it a whole big deal, this whole movement to cancel and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but they're also human too. Just because you idolized them and you wanted them to be this perfect person doesn't mean that they are. They're not a robot. They're a human being. So they're going to make mistakes. As long as they apologize, or it also might just be your point of view sometimes. Some people might think they're doing the right thing, some people may think they're doing the wrong thing. It doesn't have to be a whole like big movement to cancel just because they made one mistake. An example of this, I would say, is the whole thing with the wizard Liz. Like, bless her heart, people have been like condemning her and stuff for certain things that she said, and a lot of it seemed very out of context. Like, they haven't taken into consideration the context of the whole situation, and like they're all like just trying to hate on her and blah blah blah. It's like, guys, cut her some slack. Like, it's really not that deep. Because people make mistakes. I don't understand why people expect others to be perfect when they're not perfect themselves. No one is. You're not, I'm not. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. And you shouldn't either. I've had conversations with my parents as well, where they also can see that we lack a lot more emotions compared to their generation. Or at least with my parents in particular, I know, that yeah, we just don't feel for other people anymore. And that really shouldn't be the case. It's so scary how things are being turned out. And I will say, the biggest problem is this. It really is. We're scrolling like zombies. We're losing our touch with reality. We're losing human connection. This used to be such a thing for human connection. If you use it the right way, yes you can, but it'll never compare to the in-person, right? Guys, I'm not saying you have to be lenient with everything someone does to you. Of course not. You need to have your boundaries. But sometimes, you know, you might see a video where someone's getting hated on, but then you might not know the whole story, so it's like, you can feel sympathy for people. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You don't have to make everything a big deal. It doesn't have to be one end or the other. That's the problem with people. It's like, you have to choose one end. You can't stay in the middle. Like, what kind of ideology is that? It shouldn't be like that. You need a balance. You have your boundaries. You can also feel sympathy towards people. Sometimes I've been done so wrong by certain people, but I can still look at their side and be like, okay, maybe this is why they acted that way. Doesn't make it right, but I can still have a level of sympathy and empathy towards that person because I understand why they acted that way. I don't have to let go of my boundary for it, but at least I'm aware of it. At least be aware of, oh, maybe this is why a certain thing happened, this person did that to you, or so on and so forth, or, you know, maybe this is why this person made that mistake. Again, you don't have to be okay with it. Like, you don't have to be like, oh, this is right. No, it could be very wrong what they did, but as long as you're understanding, okay, this is why this happened, have a level of sympathy, be more humane. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. This was quite different to the ones that I've done in the past.